Song of Solomon 1, verses 5 through 7. I am very dark, but lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. Do not gaze at me because I am dark, because the sun has looked upon me. My mother's sons were angry with me. They made me keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyard I have not kept. Tell me, you whom my soul loves, where you pasture your flock, where you make it lie down at noon. For why should I be like one who veils herself beside the flocks of your companions? So I want you to see first that everybody has flaws. Everybody has flaws. You can see here Shulamite has a little bit of embarrassment. Is a little bit embarrassed about something that's going on with her body. She is darker than she would like to be. And you have to remember we're in a Middle Eastern context here. And so this would be someone who normally would have an olive complexion about them. You know, we see the pictures of Jesus. You know, you'll probably remember, I'm sure there's one around in this church building somewhere, the one that we all call California Jesus, because he kind of looks like he could either be the Savior or he could be surfing, you know, because he's got the long blonde hair and the blue eyes and all that. Well, that is most likely not what Jesus looked like. He would have looked like a Middle Eastern man. He was there in the Middle East, in the Israel area, and he would have generally had a darker complexion than we do of European roots, and so he'd had a little bit darker complexion. But back in those days, people didn't go and lay down on the beach to get a tan because a tan would make them look better. That was just what they did. So it was kind of the beauty of the day was to be as light-skinned as you could, and it was because of social status. It was, well, if this person has darker skin, what does that mean? That means that they've been out working. And if they've been out working, then that means that they're having to work for a living. So they're not in the higher echelons. They don't have somebody doing their work for them. Instead, they're out there doing the work. And so she says, I'm dark, but lovely. She's kind of torn. She's like, I'm dark, but I'm still looking good. But I've been out in the field and I've been working and I've got this, you know, just my skin's darkened up on me and it makes me a little nervous. Makes me a little nervous about when I see them and when I see other people. It may be like when we would get a skin spot or something like that, or maybe we'd get burned. I remember being down at the beach, because, you know, now that's what everybody wants at the beach. They want to get their tan body and look, but back in this days, you wouldn't want to do that. But I remember being down at the beach and we're sitting in the elevator getting ready to go up, and we're just kind of sitting there, and another person comes in, and, you know, we're waiting for the doors to close and say, what floor would you like? And she's just like this. And I was like, what floor would you like? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry I think I've been out laying in the sun too long. And I said, well, you really shouldn't lay out in the sun that much. You know, that's not good for you. And then I had shorts on because we were at the beach, and I pointed to the big diamond-shaped scar that I have on my leg, and I said, that was from, you know, a spot on my skin that they had to take off, and you better be careful, because what if you get a scar like that on your face? And she just went, oh, I don't know if I want to do that anymore, right? And so we know that the sun can cause, you know, issues like that when you're out there. You know, probably everybody in this room's probably been to a dermatologist, and maybe you've had some spots taken off, and maybe you haven't. And that's, you know, just kind of part of being outside. Sometimes that happens without sun. It's like I've told people before, they said, well, do you stay out in the sun a lot? You're always having to get, you know, biopsies and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I guarantee you some of the places they have cut have never seen the sun. That's just the way that it is. But here she was saying, I've been out in the sun a lot. I've been out working. She says, I am dark like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. I am dark there. She has this flaw. She even says, I'm a little bare. She goes, don't look at me. Don't look at me because I'm dark, because the sun has looked upon me. So instead of looking like a higher class lady, that never had to go outside and work. She worked out in the field. She said, my mother's sons were angry with me and they made me the keeper of the vineyards. They sent me out and she goes, and now look at my body. I didn't get to keep my own vineyard. She says, I didn't get to take care of myself the way that I wanted to. See, everybody has flaws. Here's a beautiful woman, and this is what I found. The guys, I guess, can be the same way, but ladies can be this way, especially. They can look, and the guy might think, well, that is one beautiful woman, but she can pick out every flaw on herself. And guys, I guess we can pick out some flaws too, but I know ladies can pick out flaws on themselves. But everybody's got them. And so you know what everybody needs? Everybody needs compliments too, right? They need compliments. You see somebody and you're like, wow, that's a nice shirt you have on today. John, that is a really nice shirt you have on today, I'll just say. And we go through and we say, that's I really like what you've done with your hair. Or I really, it's good to give compliments to people. And it's especially important in a marriage. And it's important just with friends in general. So we want to make sure that we give compliments and let people know that everybody is valued. Not everybody's a supermodel. Not everybody's a supermodel, but maybe everybody should feel like they're one every once in a while. In verse 7, I want you to see that everybody needs contact. Everybody needs contact. She says, rather than all you other people looking at me, I want to go find my man. I want to go find him. So she says, you whom my soul loves, tell me where you pasture your flock. I want to go down and I want to have lunch with you at noontime while you rest all the animals. I want to go and I want to have lunch together. I want to be together. I want to be with you. I don't want to be veiled. I want to just be just me and you. I want us to be together. See, everybody needs contact sometimes. I think that's been one of the hardest things about the pandemic that we've seen. Is there's been just a lack of contact, a lack of human interaction. It's been very difficult. Do you know depression, anxiety, suicide attempts, loneliness are at all-time highs? Because we're so scared of a virus, or at least the government maybe is so scared of the virus that they do all these things. And they say, don't go around, don't be around people, don't do that. But that's something that we as human beings need. I would say almost as much as we need light, and as much as we need shelter, and as much as we need food, and as much as we need water, we need that kind of companionship. We need to see other people. We need to realize that we're not in this by ourselves, but that we're in it together. And I think that is something that is so difficult when all this happens. I think about the people in the nursing homes that are just now maybe getting to see some people. And I think that was sad. And I think probably that was one of the things that was necessary, that you really probably needed to do, because the nursing home, the deaths have been very high in the nursing homes. And so you want to keep visitation down there. But it's other things. It's just like, wow, if we have human interaction, we're going to be in a mess. But we need to have that contact with each other. So how do we apply this? How do we apply this to our lives? And I believe the application is for anyone. So, we talk a lot about marriage and couples and stuff in Solomon because of that interaction between Solomon and Shulamite. But here, I think the application can go even further than that. When you think about Jesus, the church's groom, he sees past our flaws and he wants us to be with him. If Jesus went just on earthly beauty, I'd be in trouble. If he said, I only want somebody that's 6'3", 180 pounds, I'm not going to fit that bill. I'm going to be about a bill too much. That's not what he wants. Do you remember when Samuel was going to find the king and he was told to go to Jesse's? And Jesse starts bringing out his sons, and every one of them, Samuel goes, oh, that's the one. Look at him. He's strong and big. God says, nope. Nope, nope, nope. And he goes, don't you have any more? God's told me one of your sons is going to be king. He's like, well, I got the little one out there watching the sheep. And he came in and it was David. And what did God tell Samuel? He said, God doesn't look on the outside, but he looks in the heart. And see, Jesus sees past our flaws. He wants us to be with him. He wants us to have that contact with him. How do they punish somebody in prison? What's the worst thing that you can have when you're in prison? What's the worst punishment you can get? Solitary confinement. And Jesus says, I don't want you to have to live your life in spiritual solitary confinement. I'll be with you. I want you to have that relationship with me. I want to have that contact with you. Yes, I see your flaws. Yes, I see every blemish on your skin. Yes, I see how your hair looks one day and you've had a bad hair day, and I see it, but I don't care. I still want to be with you. And we should want to be with him. He wants us to want to be with him. And so we should. We should go for that. Because we see this beautiful story, this beautiful love story. And while we know that it should probably be taken more literal than a lot of people do, we can still remember as we do that Christ has a bride, and that bride is the church, not the building. Who's the church? We're the church. The people are the church. And he wants to be with us, and he wants us to want to be with him. So let's take that and let's apply it in our lives, and let's want to be with him. Any comments?